Good afternoon, it's time for today's sound advice, which we do at this time every day, and there's always something useful to take from our conversations and weave it into everyday life. And we're looking forward, coming out of winter and heading into spring. Our tips today are the 5 best ways to spring out of winter, and our guest is Nathalie Santonetti. Hi, Nathalie.
Hi, Danny. Thanks for having me.
It's great to have you on the show. So tell us a little bit about you. What's your main thing that you do?
So the main thing I do is nutritional therapy with a great focus on the gut health to be exact. And I also work as a health coach, EFT, emotional freedom technique practitioner, and Roya mentor as well. So I work with body and mind, if you see what I mean.
Yep, it's all part of one and the same. Why is a healthy gut crucial to our well-being?
Well, healthy guts are really the center of your immune system. You know, more than 80% of your immune cells actually reside in the gut. They also are linked to your brain, and your mental health is very, very much dependent on your gut health. There are studies showing that healthy people with healthy guts usually have healthier mental health, and vice versa. So healthy guts, you know, really control a lot of your moods. They control your, obviously how you feel in your body. They control a lot of other systems. The unhealthy guts can also be the reason why you put on weight, why you don't feel good about yourself, low energy and things like that. So It really is at the center of everything, I believe.
And you've got 5 tips that I think are reasonably easy to adopt for us. So talk us through your first one.
Yes. So the first tip is really for you to rehydrate. A lot of people believe, drink 2 liters of water a day, you'll be fine. But actually, every body is unique, and the way you should calculate the exact requirement for your water intake should be calculating your weight in pounds, then dividing it by 2. And you'll get a number which is the fluid ounces, and you convert that into liters, which will give you, for example, if you weigh 140 pounds, your water requirement will just about be 2 liters a day. But if you're much larger, much heavier than 140 pounds, then you might have to drink more than 2 liters. The key to this really is to sip slowly. You really do not want to drink 1 liter or 2 liters in one go, especially if you're very dehydrated to start with. You also need to very gradually increase that. So a lot of people will say, oh, but I drink a lot of herbal teas, a lot of coffees. Surely that's water. Actually, these do not count in that requirement. They also dehydrate you because they can be diuretic. They can make you urinate more often. So you're not actually using that water as energy. So really, this is just plain water, plain old water. You don't need to have fancy filtering systems or anything. But it is the number one requirement for a healthy gut and for a healthy body with lots of energy as well.
I like that calculation because it involves imperial and metric measures. So take your weight in pounds, divide it by 2. That'll give you the number of fluid ounces, then convert that to litres. Yeah. Fantastic.
Yes.
It's a mental workout as well.
Yes, absolutely. I hope your listeners can actually take notes and write it down, because it's a bit complicated to remember.
The beauty is, if you're listening on the BBC Sounds app, you can rewind live radio, so you can go back and get any of these tips anytime while we're chatting. So the second one, then, this is an interesting one. I've not heard this before. Tell us about breathing and eating.
Oh, breathing is essential for the central nervous system, but also for your gut. Breathing, as you know, will increase the level of oxygen in your blood. And as soon as the level of oxygen climbs up, your brain is going to register this as a good thing, which means it's not going to be in fight or flight mode anymore, which it might have been if you've been shallow breathing or even holding your breath when you were so busy. So doing 5 belly breaths, where you actually feel the breath go into where your navel is. So you put your hands there and you breathe into them very slowly through the nose and the mouth. Just before eating will actually send the right message to the brain that your central nervous system is engaged into digestive mode, which means that basically your enzymes and gastric acids will start working, and you will be able to digest the food you're about to eat. So doing this before each meal is really essential, and it only takes about a minute if you do just 5 long deep breaths. And it's essential if you want to digest well, if you want to relax the muscles of your gut, if you want just go into rest and digest mode in a very quick way.
Well, there we are. As I say, I've never heard that one before. I wonder if anybody else has. But 5 deep belly breaths just before you eat gets everything going.
Yes.
Now, the third one is a lovely ambition, and sometimes I wonder how we carve this out in our day. Tell us more about this one.
So if you can, and as you know, it's very difficult to do that, if you can, try and book an hour for you only. This is especially important if you feel particularly depleted physically and emotionally, if you're used to giving to people around all the time. This will help you to give yourself a bit of joy, give you a sense of relaxation. Maybe you want to do something pampering, something that gives you a sense of adventure. And it will overall boost your self-esteem. It will help to fill your own cup so you can give more out of that cup. And it's really essential, but you can actually split it into quarters, so into half hours throughout the day. But it's absolutely essential if you want to be able to give more of yourself to others. A lot of people I work with actually are very depleted because, especially mothers and women, because they tend to give too much of themselves and they feel that taking an hour for themselves is selfish, when actually, you'll be a better person, you'll have more to give to others.
Okay.
So it's really being kind to yourself to be kind to others.
So every day, book an hour for yourself, even if it's in bits.
Yep.
I mean, for instance, if you got up half an hour earlier and you had that half hour when the house is quiet and it's just yourself, then that perhaps gives you better energy later in the day. So actually, you won't feel so tired, despite the fact you got up a bit earlier.
Yes, exactly.
Oh,
And the same for bedtime. You can put the kids to sleep, or just after dinner try and create half an hour of doing whatever you want. It could be a bath, could be reading a book. It doesn't have to be booking a massage or whatever, but anything that's for you only.
It doesn't sound that selfish, to be honest with you. What's next for us today, Nathalie?
So creating balance, because to me, balance is at the center of physical, emotional, mental health. When we do too much of even a good thing, it can create imbalance, and then it becomes a bad thing. So, and I mention it in this case in relation to movement. So if you've sat all morning and you've been on your computer all day or all morning, try and be a little bit more active in the afternoon, and vice versa. Or if you've had, an hour of sitting, not moving at all, try and move for 5 minutes just to recreate balance. You can even try and move into a figure of 8 with your hips while you're watching your favorite TV program, so you don't feel so bad about lying on the couch all afternoon or all evening. So it's really about creating balance. Always check throughout the day, is my day balanced? Am I doing too much of one thing?
Okay, and a final tip to help us spring out of winter.
So the final tip is to eat more colors. And it's not just because it's the best way to increase nutrient intake. It's also, since research is actually showing that eating foods according to certain areas of your body will help you to support those areas. So you've probably heard of chakras, and the chakras are energy centers at specific areas in your body. And eating specific colors of foods for specific chakras is important and will help you to support those areas. For example, red berries for the root chakra, which is at the base of your body, will help will help you to feel more grounded, more energetic. It will improve your blood circulation as well. Or kale, spinach, or even drinking green tea will help with your heart chakra, the center of your chest, for circulation and immune support. For the solar plexus chakra, which is in the center of your torso, just below the ribs, you can eat lemons, papaya, or pineapples, yellow fruits, and foods to improve digestion, to improve your lung capacity, and to help with your central nervous system. So you can look at a chart with all the chakra colors and try and match different colors to the emotions and physical support that you need in those areas.
That's very interesting. You know what, Nathalie? I always say in our sound advice, with all the ideas our experts come up with, you may not be able to adopt all of them, but maybe one or two and go a bit towards them makes a difference, doesn't it? So it's all about those little wins, isn't it, a lot of the time?
Absolutely. It's
Terrific.
always the small habits that actually make a massive difference. I always say small hinges can move big doors. So whatever small actions you can take, and especially the hydration, I would say, in relation to these 5 tips.
And we can find out more about what you do at newleafnutrition.co.uk, newleafnutrition.co.uk, and you've got a course coming up, I think it's in March, is it?
The 25th of March, so it's called the Keep the Doctor Away, how to boost gut health, energy and immunity. And it will be in Hove on the 25th with practical, cheap, effective advice that you can apply to your life straight away, like these 5 tips. And it will help you to take charge of your health and that of your loved ones. So really practical and fun as well.
Details on your website, yes?
Yes, absolutely.
Lovely. Thank you very much for your sound advice today, and we'll speak again soon. Thanks, Nathalie.